So a few words on this kind of unfolding development of dual-use machine learning technologies, which can be used for lethally autonomous weapon systems. Despite the fact that it has this strange kind of dual legal collapsing of the wave function, breaking of physics law, where this system could weirdly violate two completely opposing laws at once, one by causing both, well, indiscriminate harm and discriminate harm, magically, congratulations, due to algorithmic bias and the inability to distinguish based on that bias. And despite the fact that, well, including the huge disparities that we know about within STEM subjects, and as well as the known recidivism and equality bias, meaning that both voice and facial recognition means systems recognize white, male, able-bodied, North American voices and faces and bodies, meaning that injured or in any way sort of different appearing or sounded women of colour therefore are the most vulnerable to attack because of their risk of invisibility to recognition. And knowing that kind of quick in the head, back of the envelope statistics mean that 0.00048% of people on the planet working towards these systems are women, which is a huge comfort to the fact that this might improve. And it barely needs to be mentioned that in lab testing, that might say that these things are performing well, they would vastly reduce in accuracy when you go into war and stochastic noise confuses, even obliterates the kind of correlative data sets that machines have come to understand that learn those targets, either mistaking or failing them altogether, rendering black box scenarios and Article 36 procurement questions laughably redundant. Because if a machine, registers a post box as a tank and then records that as an accurate hit, well, it's all a bit irrelevant. But then when the basis of international law, international criminal law, IHL, IHRL, LOEC, those standards around accountability require traceable chain of command, well, if there's no human in the loop, there's no chain of command to a human being. So who's accountable here? And then, of course, there are standards of moral ethical code, which I can leave to you and your God and your soul and your Xbox. But then since companies don't rest along the kind of old cartography of Cold War lines, then lack of regulation won't protect security or hinder it, commercially, financially, and for militaries. The technology can stay in-house and still cross national boundaries. So it can get sold to any country that will pay the highest fee, then it can be used in a weapon system in that country, but it still stayed within an MNC or TNC. So this weird stifling tech argument by regulation is just, frankly, well, silly, as well as short-sighted and all of those other things, especially when you look to young tech workers who are increasingly apprehensive and they're just doing the stifling on their own. So I would say, if you want to lobby these people, look to your portfolios. They might not be thinking about collateral damage, but they will be thinking about collateral financial loss. So to sign off, since the whole ubiquity of taxes thing hasn't really worked out, there really are two certainties in life, and the other one is stupidity. It won't be AI that ends us. It won't be climate change that wipes out the human race. It won't even be humanity itself. It will be lack of humanity. Now, feminist foreign policy analysis isn't about promoting women over men, and it isn't because women are innately peaceful. They're not necessarily. It's about fairness. It's about those who have been excluded finally including because they have an analysis that has been missing, patently, evidently. Even the WTO and the IMF know that including women improves the bottom line. It's about including disaggregated statistics for demographically responsive and therefore more effective and productive policies which first do no harm, and tackling the stupidity and the inhumanity quotient. Taking care and not just taking over. So take care. Thank you.